Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Helm Dev meeting. It's May 1st, 2025. As always, this is recorded and the recordings are made available publicly, so we follow the CNCF Code of Conduct and just remember everything we say can and will be used against, is there forever. Okay, so here is the the meeting doc link. Um, well, let's go ahead and start with announcements. Karen, this one's you.
Yeah, I see. Good morning. Just a reminder that the CFP for Coupon is due on May 27th. This is not for like the internet boxes, it's just for the voting process. If anyone wants to do that, the deadline for the project box will be later. So that's all. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. I'm gonna skip the first discussion. Actually, since I'm moderating, why don't I move you up to the top, Angie?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
And I'll
that's fair.
just go
All
away.
right. Yep.
Hey, welcome. Hey, everybody. I'm in Germany for the Perl Core maintainers thingy that some of us get together and keep Perl alive every year. And we're all about to go to dinner. So I just wanted to say last week I reported that the Go YAML module became maintained by Gustavo Niemeyer. I reached out to Gustavo. We had some talk back and forth on LinkedIn and agreed to meet. He's supposed to meet me on Monday and ghosted me, but it turned out his whole country was out of power for the entire day and was, he lives in Portugal. In Portugal and Spain, we're out of power. Anyway, we did actually talk yesterday. His original position that he was unable to hand this over to anybody who wanted to maintain it because he couldn't actually trust that they would actually maintain it. Then I reached out and he said, anybody, I could actually possibly hand it over to you, but I still have the same concerns. And Gustavo is very smart, and also he's the CTO. I didn't know this of Canonical. Does anybody know that? I didn't. So has a lot on his plate, and he can no longer maintain this. It would be really great for YAML in general to take this over, and then because we'd have PyYAML, LibYAML, and GoYAML, which are all the same code base ported to different languages, and that would be, I think, really easy to get sponsorship for, to get maintainers to move all of YAML forward from that direction. But he wants to see us make progress before he turns it over. And actually, I told him I had 8 of the greatest people, including Matt Farina and Scott Rigby, and actually, and a member of the fork of this Kubernetes SIGs YAML. They agreed if they've already ported their stuff back into my version of Go YAML, and they could just depend on it again instead of being a fork. So that
Also, Stefan Prodan.
Did he do something today? I didn't see it.
Oh no, just
yeah,
offered.
He's one of our maintainers, right? Yeah. So thank you, Scott, for that. Scott made that introduction. Anyway, good stuff, but got to keep moving it forward, and we could probably talk more later about what that means to Kubernetes and everything. But anyway, I just wanted to give you that report, and now I'm going to go have dinner with my friends. So thank you, Scott. Thanks, guys.
That's fantastic.
Thanks, Inky.
Yeah, I guess, is there any questions, or did that make sense? Okay, cool. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys next week.
Bye. Okay, well, that's pretty cool.
It really is.
Crazy, but cool.
I know. And I think since he had to run, I didn't mention this, but I'll follow up with him about this. If there are other Helm maintainers who are interested, should definitely reach out to Ingy about about that. And by interested, I mean interested to help with maintaining and supporting Go YAML. Okay, I am going to skip the next item because Robert is not here. I'm not sure why I can't seem to get a hold of him for that, but that's okay. And we have a few maintainers here, so my question really is about the approach to this linked PR here, just for anyone who doesn't see the doc. That's about allowing, excuse me, allowing post renderer to also modify hook resources. We don't do that for some reason. And I don't know that there is a real I have not yet been able to find a real historic reason for that. I think the question really is just maybe to Andy and Joe, if either of you or anyone, if you happen to know of a reason for that, except for it perhaps being having been, just an oversight.
I looked it over too, and I couldn't find any reason.
It's employee
Nothing
48
saying,
hours.
Yeah,
Andrew?
No, I'm saying I had no reason either.
got it. Okay, yeah. I'll ask more other maintainers too who weren't able to make this call. But from my point of view, it's hard for me to see why that could be a how that could be a problem at all. And even how that could break existing. I was really trying to think of a way that could even break existing CI where someone's doing some post rendering, but I I don't really know how that could. With the
It's
exception,
opt-in, so, yeah.
yeah, generally because someone's modifying what's there rather than doing like I could imagine the only thing I could imagine, and I won't go on too long about this, but is if someone had some what I would consider to be a pretty wacky and bizarre workflow where they completely ignored all of the templates, um, and just simply had a flat out like I am just going to replace everything with my own, but then also still depended on the hook resources because now that would work. But if we allowed those to be modified and someone said, forget it, I'm just going to delete everything and just send in my own resources, um, uh, then it would, if we made this change without any kind of a flag or something, it would, for Helm 3 anyway, then it would replace those resources where before it didn't. That's the only thing I could imagine. It just sounds absolutely outlandish. So
No,
um,
they built it to be opt-in using annotation. So the template itself has to have the annotation in it. Hook post renderer equals true. But I think
oh, that's right. This PR did. Okay, you're right. You're right. Yes. Sorry, I had actually forgotten about that. I reviewed it a while ago, but
Yeah.
so it is totally opt-in. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll just like I guess my action item is to ask other maintainers if anyone has any reason whatsoever. It's certainly not documented in code, or in an issue that I could find, as to why we should not do that, as to why that was omitted. And otherwise, I think it's a good thing to do. Um, Okay.
Okay.
So then the really the next thing was if anyone has well, let me just share this link here. Oops. So there was a question about uh, the resource policy, basically like any of our annotations being only respected when they're introduced through Helm templating uh, from a field manager approach and not manually through kubectl. Um, the uh, the way it works now is they are not respected. At the very least, I haven't actually checked all the other annotations, but at least resource policy isn't expected. Like if you want to keep that resource when deleting um, the chart. Does anyone have a strong opinion about this? Yeah.
I don't like things being deleted by surprise. If you've done something, you said, oh, I don't want this thing to be deleted, and it gets deleted, that's a bug. Data loss.
Mm-hmm. It does seem kind of weird, doesn't it?
Yeah. Data loss is always bad.
Yeah, exactly. It seems I haven't looked yet into how much complexity it would be because I think the idea right now is that we only, we could, if it's introduced by Helm only, we could look at our release object, and get the annotations right from there. But if we want to support the field being managed by any other field manager, kubectl or whatever else, like an operator or something like that, then we would have to just we'd have to look at the actual object itself in the cluster before we do it. I don't see why that would be a lot of complexity, but it is something to change. So I actually agree with you, Joe. I think uh, it's hard for me to imagine that this would that supporting that would surprise anyone. Um, like
No, I told you not to delete this, and suddenly you didn't.
right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I really depended on using this Helm annotation outside of Helm to just not do what I'm telling it to do. Yeah, agreed. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you would, I don't think you've commented on this yet.
Oh, I did.
Uh,
Commented on it long time ago. Where did that go? Or at least I think I did. Yeah, I'm the one that marked it as a bug.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you marked it as a bug. Anyway, if you feel like making that note, I'm
Yeah.
sure that would be appreciated.
Okay.
I'm happy to second that. And that is the only, those are the only topics that we have right now. Does anyone have any other topic they wanted to bring up? Okay. I actually have one thing I want to note on the recording, and it won't take very long. I don't know how much this impact. Well, I guess it actually does impact some of the people on. It impacts all of us, but I think it relates to you, Joe, and possibly to you, Andy, too. Um, so I know Joe knows that I've been reaching out to or just trying to keep my ears open for anyone that mentions tests in any capacity, writing tests or reviewing tests or anything like that. And there is you, Joe, I know you've been doing like for quite a while now, like focusing a lot on writing Go tests and outside of Helm Nest, not just in Helm, but outside of that. And recommended someone it that Joe works with who is interested in helping. So I've been talking with that person for quite a while and asking, just reaching out uh unofficially, just informally, like, hey, would you look at this PR, like these PRs, either have tests or need them? Would you mind taking a look? And uh he's been doing that. Igor has been doing that. And then other people have. So basically, at this point, there's a group of like 5 or 6 people who are really enthusiastic about Helm, about unit tests in Helm. And so I was thinking, hey, it'd be great to have an informal initiative, like so far informal, not yet formal initiative for people who want to help with unit tests in Helm 4. And now we have a handful of people who are pretty interested in that and talking about that in the Kubernetes Slack Helm Dev channel. So Andy or anyone else, if you're interested, who's listening to this recording later, check it out and jump in if you'd like to. And if you have any ideas about how that initiative could work,
Cool.
please let me know.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it a little bit later today. Is it just a thread in the channel?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
cool.
When it comes to submitting talks, the maintainers talk about testing would be really nice.
Yes, it would. That's a really cool idea. All right, well, if we've got nothing else, I'm going to end the chat.
Yeah.
A little bit early, and I hope you all have a great week. And then we'll see each other on Slack in the meantime, and see you all next week.
Assignments.
Oh, my bad. Wow, I really failed my job. Thank
wasn't
you,
your job.
Karen. Thank you, Karen.
It wasn't your
Okay.
job. You're a stand-in, so it's okay.
Yes. So okay. So, actually, I even completely missed the HIP review. I'm not sure who wanted to review this HIP, but at least I'll note it. Gosh, we don't really need to note it any longer because it's already merged. So, we can scratch that one out. I missed even the shout outs and social media. Did we have any shout outs that anybody had on their mind specifically? Okay, cool. Just the normal ones, right? Okay, and then
Everybody's awesome.
I don't think we have anything else to amplify with social media right now.
I don't even know what social media is anymore.
In general. TikTok. Oh, I do have a question, Karen. Terry hasn't been back yet, but should we make an announcement about the Terry as a new triage maintainer?
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week. I needed or I don't know if they
Blurb.
have a social handle or something, or you could do it without tagging them.
Thank you. That was an action item I didn't do. Okay, I just asked, and I will, and I'll also do a little bit of a search on that. I almost feel like we should have an action items section in our template, but okay. So who would like to be the moderator next week? Would any of you? I'll volunteer to do it. What about notes?
I'll be able to do that next week.
Okay. And do you think you might be able to? We have like a very skeleton crew right now
I
on the
will
call.
not be, I'll be in transit next week, so I'll not be able to make this meeting.
Okay, let's just put a question mark for that right now. Wait, Joe, you
Which
said you
one?
can't.
I
You
mean,
can't.
I can, but I won't be logged in, so somebody will just have to prove all the notes that I did.
That's what I did today. I'm not left to do.
Okay. I don't log in on my work laptop to my Google account.
Gotcha. That makes sense. But if you are down to do that,
Sure,
you
we
could
can do
be a backup at least. And then PR review. I'll be doing PR review.
I'll be doing some too.
Okay. And issue triage.
I'll probably do a little bit of that too.
Okay.
But not.
Awesome. Okay, and then I guess Andy, do you think you're going to be able to make the meeting next week?
No, I will not be able to.
Oh, you said you can't join it at all. Okay. Okay, cool. So I think we have everything. Thanks a bunch and see you all next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Here's all. Bye-bye.